It's 1996. Fantasy films are garbage, but CGI is hot right now, and we want to exploit it. So we bring you DragonHeart, starring Dennis Quaid as the Brave Knight and Jeff Goldblum as the Dragon.
I don't want to kill you. I never did. If I wait around for the next sword swinger, thirsting to cut out a reputation out of my hide, wow, what a run-on sentence. What am I reading for again? A dragon? Oh, no, wow, this is awful. I know what awful is. I was in powder, telling someone was doing while they were writing this.
With Holly Hunter as the Dragon.
When you squeeze the nobility, it's the peasants that feel the pinch. Is that Shatner's toupee? What was that?
Shut up!
Gladly, this script is dog shit.
With Samuel L. Jackson as the Dragon. So it was f***ing you who killed the motherfucking starred one. How much motherfucking gold did her motherfucking carcass put in your motherfucking purse, motherfucker? What? There's no swearing in this. Oh, f*** no, I'm out of here. With Sean Connery as the Dragon.
His blade defends the helpless. His might upholds the weak.
That's the funniest one of all. Oh, that isn't part of a comedy sketch? Wow. What the f***, 1996?
Hello, I'm the Nostalgia Critic guy. Remember it so you don't have to. Every half a decade or so, a new trend seems to take over Hollywood. From westerns to sci-fi to disaster films to superhero films, it's usually a genre that for a period of time seems to dominate the market. And for a while, that genre was fantasy. Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter, Narnia, these franchises were big money for a good period of time. While these genres did exist long before they got insanely popular, it's not hard to see why they weren't always insanely popular. True, there was a strong film here and there, but before fantasy films were Oscar winners, they were DragonHeart. Released in 1996, this sounds like an idea so goofy it must have been satire. A period piece about a knight befriending a dragon voiced by Sean Connery. It sounded dead on arrival, and yeah, it pretty much was, but it's by no means a disaster. It's just not very good. In production hell for several years, this movie was passed from creative team to creative team in the hopes of salvaging it, and yeah, it definitely shows. For such an ambitious idea, it turned out a tonally confused mess that did okay at the box office, but left critics and audiences feeling underwhelmed. Almost 30 years later, though, does it get better with time, or look at those effects? Of course it gets worse over time! But let's dive in and nitpick why. Let's check out the original Dragon movie with bizarre casting. This is DragonHeart. So I wasn't kidding when I said this is technically a period piece. The film takes place in 984 AD, which in historical terms stands for dragons. I should point out too that while the music by Randy Edelman is totally fine, it's been ruined for me because for years, every phenomenally corny piece of shit used it for its advertising.
Better right in.
Universal Pictures presents.
You are not cut out to be a physician.
Comes a story of the power of friendship.
Sanga isn't a killer, nor is Kamal.
You are tearing me apart, Lisa!
If a lot of people loved each other, the world would be a better place to live.
Well, and some just go too well. As the credits roll, we're introduced to young Prince Iman and Bowen, played by 20 different accents shaped like Dennis Quaid.
There's nothing noble about crushing desperate men.
All my hopes rest on him.
It has expenses.
You and I should be the only things that are cold and hard around here.
I will spend the rest of my life hunting you down!
Did he eat the cast of Snatch? What voice is he doing? It looks like the peasants are rebelling and the two of them are called to witness the king's victory. Okay, now I can see why the Burning the Village music in Conan was so epic. Without it, it's pretty dull. No! Yeah, admittedly, if you came out before he burned the town, you'd have, well, a town, but I guess it still works. The king is slayed and his son rushes out to save his crown.
Die! It's mine!
Dude, it's not a controller for Dragon Ball Fighter, it's your friggin' dad! But his actions catch up with him. Oh, just like a chick to stab me in the heart. At least my hair's prettier than yours. Bowen brings him to the Queen, played by Julie Christie, who has an idea about how to save him.
Knight is sworn to valor. His heart knows only virtue.
Kid, you're the prince, you're the next in line, you don't need to hold on to that! What do you think if you grab it and say, king, 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 that instantly makes anyone who holds it the ruler?
Aislinn, daughter of the Celts.
He's taken to a dragon who agrees to help the prince if he promises to rule justly. Well, I see anyone who literally grips their crown for dear life is totally doing that.
Witness the wonders of an ancient glory.
He takes half of his heart out of the PlayStation 2 version of himself and gives it to the prince.
I serve the father only for the sake of the son.
No, really, what's your real voice? You should talk. Catch fail. But big twist, he's still a douche.
There should be a release, not a punishment. Look good, dog. I'm the last thing you'll ever see.
Well, if you recite half the hilarious lines from Holy Grail, I don't see it as that bad. I'm sure somehow the dragon's to blame for this.
I love that boy and you changed him! You tricked me, dragon! No matter where you go, I will find you!
Anyone else getting that old bike meme vibe?
You tricked me, dragon! I will spend the rest of my life hunting you down!
Wow, that was an epic transition. I think more movies need to build up their anti-climaxes that way. Solid payoff.
And hell's coming with me, you hear? Hell's coming with me!
Get warmer.
That's how you movie. Years later, we're introduced to Gilbert, played by the usually talented Pete Postlethwaite, but I think was replaced with Pinky as the annoying bard.
Well done, Bowen. You've done it again. What a brute.
Odds Bodkin's vain! You're a regular wizard!
Yahoo! I've decided to compose the Ballad of Bowen!
I, Minstrel Mouse Pinky, shall chronicle your deeds in song.
Into the mouth of death he strode. Into the pit of fear unknown.
All dark and inky to conquer the world. Go brain and la something.
He's so annoying, I swear Jar Jar took him aside and said, "One more time, but with more awful."
What did I say? What did I say?
Bowen continues to hunt down every dragon he sees, but he overlooks the true injustices across the land. For the prince has grown up into Remus Lupin, and continues to fill his kingdom with Harry Potter cast members.
Cora, I told you not to come here anymore.
Dear wig maker, I have come for a better wig. Well, I know I'm blind, but what the hell was that? This is Kara, played by Dina Meyer, still upset that Prince Puckerlips is tormenting her father.
For God's sake, release him.
Okay, that I recognize, an arrow, ow. Mother! Meanwhile, we're given the one clever effect in the movie.
Hacking and whacking the dragons, but if a dragon falls in the forest and nobody gets to hear about it, does it make a thud?
And I guess the budget could only afford it once because the dragon never does it again. And we finally see the dragon, named Draco, in all his, Flintstone-y glory.
Visit the wood! Oh, that must have hurt. We're earning our money now, aren't we? How do you like the ride so far?
You're the man now, dog! Okay, this looks less like he's holding on for dear life and more like he's ziplining. I'm looking for a sign that says you must be this tall to ride the Iron Draco.
Haven't had this sort of challenge in some time.
You're likely to again.
Don't make me smack you like all the lady dragons in my life.
I will not stop until I've rid the world of every last one of you.
I am the last one.
I did it! I'm the Highlander! Draco tries gobbling him up, but Bowen's sword stops him from closing his mouth.
Can you get your buttocks off my tongue?
I'll take things I never thought I would hear Sean Connery say for 200, Alex. In fact, that sounds like a mispronunciation Connery would have on Celebrity Jeopardy.
It seems you're in a bit of a stalemate. Get out of my mouth and let's talk face to face.
Okay, if there's a Dan Schneider of dragon films, he directed this.
I wait around for the next sword slinger thirsting to carve a reputation out of my hide.
So, you may have noticed the dragon isn't that impressive. If you're wondering how on earth this got an Oscar nomination for Best Effects, well, film quality wasn't as clear as it was now, so you could get away with a bit more. Also, it truly was ambitious. At the time, CG characters that needed to emote with personalities was just starting to become a thing. So doing so with Jurassic Park-style technology did have promise. But aside from maybe a few dark shots, it never looks like he's there. He looks like a Trojan horse made with the CG monkeys from Jumanji.
I don't want to kill you. I never did.
Also, while Connery does have an impressively deep voice, they don't add any bass or treble or reverb to make it sound like it's coming out of a giant creature.
I'm gonna let you up now. We can pursue this fracas to its final stupidity.
All I can hear is the actor in the recording booth, like, yeah, I got like 3 more of these stinkers and then I'm calling it quits. His feet don't even make any noise.
I remember. That's all it is, a memory. So I no longer try to change the world, Dragon. I just try to get by in it.
It's so weird. Like, remember when a T-Rex could literally shake the ground just walking? This thing is the dragon version of that quiet guy from Seinfeld. It just doesn't feel right.
You can listen to my alternative.
What's the alternative?
They call it Truce and hatch a scheme where they play reluctant dragon, pretending to terrorize villages with Bowen saving the day and getting the reward. And granted, as fake as the dragon is, the fire does look pretty damn impressive.
I do long for death, but fear it.
Aside from your misery, what's to lose?
My soul.
Oh, and get this, he doesn't put together, this is the same dragon who gave his heart to the prince.
Einan was no innocent. He polluted the heart.
How do you know that?
All dragons know that story.
Okay, I'm not gonna pretend I understand the complicated layers of dragon racism in this world, but Sean Connery has, yeah, let's just call it, the most recognizable voice on the planet. Maybe Donald Duck beats him out, and even then, that's a maybe. This is like not recognizing Arnold Schwarzenegger as Turbo Man. How on earth is this humanly possible? We discover, though, that when the prince's heart is damaged, Draco's heart is too. Well, gee, I wonder how this is gonna end.
Teach me. Pity me.
I'm the only one that feels like he's turning into a mix between the Momo challenge and an ostrich from Fantasia.
Don't be afraid. I'll come to help you.
The prince captures Kara, but his mother helps her escape, so she tries to start an uprising to little avail.
I speak the truth.
It's rarely inspiring, lass. And it never wins rebellions. But it will stretch necks.
Is he a Scottish-Irish pirate? What accent is he doing? Once again, they scam the town as Bowen looks for compensation for trying to defeat the dragon.
Of course, there are other ways. Perhaps you'll part with one of your precious daughters instead of gold.
Our hero, folks. Were you the one person rooting for the creeper in Waterworld? This guy's for you!
Dragons are partial to maiden sacrifices.
He convinces them the dragon needs a sacrifice, so naturally they send Kara.
Just get rid of her!
Oh!
Eat her!
Why am I supposed to like this guy? Is it because he doesn't snicker when the dragon says...
I merely chewed in self-defense, but I never swallowed.
Fun fact, that was an unused name for one of the Bond ladies. Draco ends up befriending Kara, even to the point of forgetting to return to the village.
I'm truly sorry, Bowen. Have been distracted.
We dragons have kind of a Jambalaya thing. The prince appears, though, to try and take back Kara.
I'm ready for my lesson now, knights.
Boy, you know the movie's boring when the master and apprentice are reunited and having a big fight, and all I can think is, ooh, pretty rainbow. Also, I don't mind using the same waterfalls before in the same shot of the tail going into the waterfalls before, but can you at least move the rocks that were clearly supposed to be the dragon from earlier? Draco appears, though, and scares him off. Let's get out of here! I think he flashed me! Not surprisingly, Kara and Bowen seem to hit it off.
What are you looking at?
Myself.
God, I'm hot. They make it to the next village and...
The greatest dragon slayer, that is! Possibly the greatest that ever will be!
It was nice living in a world where I forgot this guy existed.
I personally have seen him slay almost 2 dragons. I didn't actually see the death blow of the second, but he must have won.
He sounds like that person who fights all your battles on Twitter and you're like, you know, I think I'm happy you're losing the argument. The dragon doesn't sink this time, though, and the villagers try to... eat him? Wow, they must have really been starving with absolutely no protein around. dragon flies away though, they look back to Bowen.
Me.
It is English food. Cannibalism would be preferred. The dragon saves him though and takes them to Avalon.
This is Avalon, the resting place of King Arthur himself.
We buried him under royal dicks, knights of the hard table.
They decide to go after the prince, and tell me if I'm crazy or is this the weirdest lead-in for exposition?
Will you wish us luck, Draco?
Long ago, when man was young and the dragon already old, the night became alive with those stars.
I just asked if you wish us luck. Where'd the astrology lesson come from?
When we die.
Bowen finally figures out that Draco was the dragon that saved the prince. And when I say figures out, I mean he literally tells him.
And that's why I shared my life force with a dying boy.
It was you. Your heart beats in Arnon's breast.
No, like 20 dragons share their hearts with dying boys. Yes, it was me!
Dreams die hard and you hold them in your hands long after they've turned to dust. I will not be that naive again.
I'll read a script more closely before I say yes. But the ghost of Arthur appears, looking like a cheap effect from medieval times and sounding like a voiceover from Quest for Camelot.
A knight is sworn to valor. His word speaks only truth. His might upholds the weak.
I also understand Walter's celebrating a bachelor party. Everyone cheer for the red and yellow section.
They get the villagers organized and prepare them for battle.
Save your strength for the fight against Arnon.
You and what army, knight?
Alright, let's go! Well, that killed the momentum. Does this movie actively want me not to get excited for things?
Widen your stance. Up. Down.
I technically killed the prince the first time. Instead of teaching me how to fight, I should be teaching you how to fall.
I know this man who leads them, and I will not underestimate him!
The prince hears of the growing army, so he starts to grow one of his own.
A mother's gift to her son. Dragon slayers.
They look like the side of an arcade cabinet in the 80s. I've seen Disney Junior shows with more intimidating knights. Why does he always look like he's about to lay an egg?
That's what I call a spit and run. Yeah, even dragons have dad jokes.
Thou shalt not kill.
Congrats, you killed him. Are we trying to get across with that? Actually, it hurts the dragon, but doesn't kill the prince, as Draco just so happens to have given him the stronger half of his heart.
Nah, he got the upside, I got the downside. See, there's two sides to every Schwartz.
Draco is captured, but thank God the army of villagers have trained so hard they can get him back.
I go to save the dragon! Who will go with me?
I'm supposed to, like people in this, right? Our usual trio tried to go in and save him, but they're caught pretty quick.
Well, what a pleasant surprise.
I only expected a threesome, but a foursome will do. They have a big fight as Bowen puts together the only way to kill the prince is to kill Draco.
You will never win until Einon's evil is destroyed, and to do that, you must destroy me.
Release me from this movie. I've other disappointments to star in.
The prince is slayed as Bowen does end up killing Draco, releasing a refreshing pine scent, and he becomes an angelic fart, joining the constellations. Now, if he just died in an extra star shine, that would have been fine. Kinda like in Princess and the Frog, they just see the stars shine a little brighter and they know what it means, they put it together. Actually, it'd be kinda moving. But somehow this movie goes even more cartoony than the actual cartoon. All the stars in the constellation welcome him, explode into a million more stars, outline the dragon even more in case you missed this was in fact a dragon, and then go right back to normal. It doesn't even stay in the sky, it was just like, oh hey, we can do this, okay, bye. It is so cartoony and over the top, it looks less like a cinematic conclusion and more like you finished a Zelda sequel.
And in the days following Draco's sacrifice.
Oh, I guess we have a narrator too. Last minute of the movie's a good time to finally bring him out.
And when things became the most difficult, Draco's star shone more brightly for all of us who knew where to look.
How's it shining now? Because this wasn't the easiest flick to get through. So like I said, it's not awful, and honestly with this idea and casting in 1996, it should have been awful. But the ironic thing is, as much as Draco talks about how much he wants his soul to be saved, the film does surprisingly feel a little soulless. Not Not entirely. I mean, there are a few moments where the knight and dragon's bond is believable. There is personality to some of the characters, but nothing about it feels as grand or epic as I think it wants to be. A lot of that, I think, is because it was in production hell for so long and a clear vision of the film just couldn't be figured out. Especially seeing how many scenes just feel so chopped down or unfinished. Somewhere there's a decent film longing to get out, but in the end, the film almost fittingly comes across as half-hearted. I'm a nostalgia critic, I remember, so you don't have to.